Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going? This is Marcos Villegas, and welcome to this week's edition of the Fight Up TV live chat. Today is May 10th of 2021, and we are being joined with a very, very special guest today, the man himself, Mr. David Benavidez. David, thank you for joining us, and welcome to the chat, bro. How are you been?
I'm doing good, man. And first of all, I just want to thank you too for inviting me on the show. We always have some good conversations talking about boxing, so I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Thank you, man. Everybody, if you're joining us right now, give a round of likes to David. If you're watching us for the first time, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. David, first off, we saw you in action a few weeks back. Not a few weeks back, a few months back. How have you been with the time off, man?
I've been good, man. I just really just been hanging out with my son. Enjoying seeing him getting bigger. He just turned eight months yesterday, so he's growing up. He's getting big right in front of my eyes, and here we're just here relaxing. Training every day. Getting ready for the next fight.
Thanks. So you already started training?
Yeah, I already have like a month and a half training.
Damn.
When I fight, I don't really like to take too much time off. You know what I mean? So I just go to the gym, just train, get a little workout in. So I only took about 3 weeks off. So I've been training for almost like 2 months already. So we're just we want to make sure everything stays sharp. All the shots I've been working on, body shots, uppercuts, jabs. I want everything to be on point. You know what I mean? So I've already gotten the training started.
Yeah, that's a big difference then compared to the other times, huh?
What do you mean?
With you keeping in shape, keeping in camp.
Yeah, that's the thing that I kind of like had to learn to be a little bit more on the weight now. Obviously because I got the title taken away from me for not being able to make weight. So that's why I kind of wanted to be on more. I want to be a little bit better shape. So even when I start going to camp, I don't have that much weight to lose for the fight. So I just been trying to stay sharp. Getting my runs in and my workouts in. So we've been trying to stay on top of it.
How do you feel?
I feel great, man. I feel great. Like I'm saying, this is like the best I've ever felt in my life. Everything is perfect right now. With my son, everything at home is great. At the gym, so I'm just enjoying my days every day.
That's dope, man. That's really, really good to hear. Because as we've seen, like the more like iron sharpens iron, the more active a fighter is, the sharper they are.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why because hopefully maybe by next year we could get that Canelo fight. So for me to be able to beat Canelo, if I ever get the opportunity to fight him, I have to be at the best shape I've ever been. Everything has to be on point. So I'm seeing that that opportunity might come soon. So I just want to make sure everything is great, and I want to work as hard as possible.
Well, we'll touch on Canelo, but your last fight that we saw you in was against Ronald Ellis. You put on another great performance. How'd you feel you did in that fight, man? Were you happy with it?
Yeah, I felt good, man. It was a good fight. Ronald Ellis is a tough guy. But like I said, if I'm eventually gonna get to them. My power, I feel like I'm one of the hardest hitters at 168. So if the fight didn't end early on, I knew I was gonna stop it. I knew I was gonna end up catching him with something, and I knew he was gonna feel the pressure, and that's exactly what happened. There's still some things we need to fix in there, but this is boxing. You have to learn every day. So I just I feel I had a really good performance. For the people who are watching the fight, they were really entertained, and I feel like all the fans like the fights too. So I feel like I did great.
Dude, Ronald's a tough freaking guy, right? Like he could take a punch and do it on the chin.
Yeah, I think if I would have, I messed up by not going to the body earlier in the fight. I feel like once I started going, to the body, in the middle rounds, I think that's when he started getting hurt and he wasn't reacting as good as he was in the beginning, So I felt like I should have went down to the body a little bit earlier, but I still did my job and I went in, and I got the job done. I got the stoppage.
Now you have another fight scheduled now, I believe in August 28th against Jose Uzcategui. With this fight, Dave, just give me your thoughts overall of you fighting Uzcategui.
I think it's going to be a great fight, man. If you look at us, we got a similar style. We both like to come forward. We're both big punchers. We're both tall fighters too. So I feel like this is a great fight, for me and all my fans. I feel like we're gonna have a great fight, and that's what I'm looking forward to, man. But I feel like I'm gonna stop Uzcategui. I've sparred him before. I know exactly how he moves, and You know, I've already heard him a couple times, you know, from back then in the sparring. And when I heard him, I was 19 years old. Right now I'm 24 years old. So you know, I got more experience in the ring. You know, I'm getting stronger, and you know, my confidence is overall growing as well. So you know, I'm not too worried about this fight. But you know, I'm very excited, you know, because like I said, he's kind of the same fighter as me. So you know, I'm excited for the fans too. You know, they're gonna get one hell of a fight.
But you are peaking. Would you say he's kind of going down a little bit based on the other fights that he's had? Because, or is it because you're just at your peak right now that you feel that you're going to go ahead and stop him?
Enough to last us for a few days.
I'm sorry. No, I feel like overall, you know, my career, where you know, like getting the confidence and you know, getting these two title fights, and you know, stopping most of the guys I fought. I feel like I don't really want to say he's going down. You know, obviously he lost two fights, but I'm not gonna say, you know, that he's somebody that I shouldn't worry about. That I'm just gonna go in there and knock him out like nothing, because he is a great fighter and I'll give him his respect. But I just feel like I'm just an overall better fighter. You know, I have a better jab, better body shots, more speed, and I feel like I hit harder than him too. You know, so I just feel like, you know, he's just another fighter in my way. You know, so I'm just gonna go in there and take care of business.
You said you used to spar him back when you were 19.
Yeah,
was this at the summit?
I sparred him in Big Bear, California. I think he was getting ready for, what fight was he getting ready for? I was getting ready for who was it? Porky Medina, I think. And I ended up sparring him. He was gonna go to Big Bear, or he went to Big Bear. He was gonna have his camp out there. And after 1 week of sparring, I got the better of him, and he ended up leaving Big Bear. So I mean, that just shows you how that went.
You really put it on him then.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Then, you know, do you think it goes 6 rounds then, 7 rounds? Like,
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna even try to predict no rounds no more, because every seems like when I think I'm gonna stop early, it takes me a little bit longer to stop him. So, you know, I don't know, but I feel like I'm gonna get the stoppage. If it comes early, if it comes late, you know, I'm always gonna go in there and go look for the knockout.
You know, go ahead, Marcus.
And what I was going to ask you, David, is that it seems like as of late you've just been in destructive mode. Talk to us about kind of the way that you feel like you have to beat opponents to get a big top level fight. Is there a certain way that you got to break these guys down to get that fight? What do you have to do to get popular demand to get these big fights?
I feel like I just have to be the fighter, the same fighter I am. You know, just go in there and give the fans the most as much as entertaining fight as I can. You know, go in there and try to stop all these dudes. I feel like a lot of people, they're kind of avoiding me because, you know, it's too much risk, you know, and little reward if, you know, they fight me knowing that I don't have a belt right now. So, you know, right now it really doesn't matter to me whoever they put in front of me. You know, I'm gonna go in there and do what I got to do. You know, I love stopping people, and I love hurting other fighters. So that's what I'm gonna continue to do.
You know, I wanted to ask you, I've always wanted to ask you, man, when you get in this mood where you're throwing 13 to 15 shots on a guy and they're landing, what's going through your mind at that point? When you lighten somebody up and he's backing up against the ropes, what are you thinking?
I don't know, man. There's just something that clicks in me once I'm in there. You know, like I said, I love giving the fans, you know, as much action as possible. So when I'm in there, you know, and I'm landing those type of combinations, you know, my head is in my head is, you know, I'm eventually going to get these guys out of here. You know, it takes a little bit longer sometimes to get them out of there. But, you know, like I said, even for me, when I watch my fights, you know, I love watching the highlights, and, you know, because I know I put some good combinations together. So, you know, I know other people enjoy that too.
Bro, your highlights are like video game highlights, like fight night highlights, because you're popping off like 10 punch combos. Like, you don't see that shit in live fights.
And I feel like, you know, that there's a lot of people that don't think I have that type of speed. You know, I think I really surprise people when they see me in person, because I'm a big dude and I got, you know, some fast hands too. But that's just trying to be like my idols, you know, like Manny Pacquiao, Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather. You know, these guys are throwing punches and bunches, and you know, they're just throwing amazing combinations. So that I kind of wanted to challenge myself, you know. So I always try to do the best I can, and I always try to put together these crazy combinations.
What's like the one, like, do you have a certain way you want to finish someone, like a dream type of finish? Like, oh, dude, I want to finish someone off with like this like sick like 10 punch combination and ends with the uppercut. Like, do you have like a sequence in your head that like, oh, I want to finish a guy like this?
Nah, I don't really have like a sequence that that I kind of want to knock somebody out. And I think the best, well, like the best knockout I've ever had is a Porky Medina. So if I could get another knockout like that, that would be a dream. Another dream knockout, because it's not easy to knock people out like that. So, it's super hard to do that. So, I mean, I just try, like I'm saying, I just try to, do the best I can. And, just so for the fans at home, so they can have as much action as possible, so they can keep watching my fights.
And you seem to really put their fans first, man. That's one thing that I've always noticed about you and your brother both. You guys really seem to want to put on real big fights and good fights for the fans. And your style of fighting just says that, hey, I'm here just for you. Tell me about where that comes from. I know that you've been a boxing fan your whole life, but where does that charge come from to actually try to please in the fights instead of just trying to win?
I think, I mean, like the reason why I fight like that is because I want my stock to go up. And sometimes, you have to fight for the people. You have to go in there and give as much action as possible. I've never been that guy that's like that just says, screw the fans. I don't care about if the fans, get the fights they want to see. I just want to, win. I feel like I have to give the fans as much action as possible, and that's what I do. And for the people who support me, the people that have been supporting me since I was a little kid, and from my career when it started, I feel like I have a lot of loyal fans, and I do it for the fans at the end of the day, always.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
man, you got a growing fan base, and I remember when you fought at the Porter Spence fight, it became super apparent to me that fan base, because you got the loudest freaking cheer of the night. And those two guys were like the main event, and I'm thinking, you go to Texas, you go to any of these big Hispanic population markets, dude, like you're gonna bring the house out, man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to, man. That's what, like, the dream scenario for me too is when if I get that fight with Canelo, man. I know I'm gonna have a lot of people there, cheering for me. So I'm super excited for what's to come in the future, man. That's why I just got to keep working hard and just stay ready for any opportunity, because anything could happen at any time.
Yeah, man. You mentioned Canelo. Obviously, he fought over the weekend, David, against Billy Joe Saunders. Ended up stopping him, breaking his eye socket. I think he had to get surgery yesterday. What'd you think of overall of how Canelo fought?
I thought it was a really good performance by both fighters, not just Canelo. I feel like, Billy Joe Saunders, he was doing really good until he got caught with that shot. I think what really messed him up is just having his hands so low like that. I felt like if he would have, kind of had his hands a little bit up, he wouldn't have got caught with the shot like that. But you know what I'm saying? This is boxing. Anything could happen. But, I feel like his lateral movement was really good. He had a good jab. It's just that he got caught with that shot, man. And Canelo, I like Canelo's fighting style too, man. He has some great body shots, and just him cutting the ring and trying to get to Billy Joe Saunders, man. You could just tell his ring IQ. He does so much stuff, Canelo. So I'm always gonna be a fan of boxing. I like Canelo. I like even though we might fight in the future, I have nothing against that guy. At the end of the day, I'm a fan of boxing, and it was a great fight, man.
Yeah, you know what? He got a lot better when you compare that style to the Arislandi Lara fight and the Austin Trout fight. Like,
Yeah.
it showed that his IQ grew a lot, because that shot that he got was from a counterpunch on a guy that's defensive.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I think overall, what makes him so good is all his experience, man. He's fought so much great fighters that he's kind of seen a lot of the a lot of the same styles over and over again. So now I think he's coming into his he's became a great fighter, and he kind of knows how to handle that style now. I think back then when he fought Lara, he had a little bit of problems with that style because he hadn't seen this before. But now I think with all his experience, man, he's just that guy's he's a great champion.
When you see what happened in the fight, specifically like in the middle rounds, did you feel that Saunders was giving him trouble? Like, did you feel that Canelo was having trouble at spots, or you felt overall like Canelo was just imposing himself in the fight?
No, I felt like Canelo was definitely having trouble. It's always hard to catch a fighter that's always on the defensive mode. But like I
Right.
said, with his experience, man, he ended up breaking him down. He caught him with a great shot. But if by any means, it was not an easy fight for Canelo. I think I had Billy Joe Saunders up like at least a round or 2 rounds, but it was a great fight, man.
Oh wow, you had him up winning the
I had
fight.
him up around at least
Oh
one of them.
wow,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was seeing scorecards the night of the fight, and they were all over the place. But I felt overall Canelo was winning. Why
Yeah.
did you think that Saunders was winning the fight, David?
I think it was just his movement, man. His movement, he was boxing him beautifully. He was using his jab a lot. A lot of people didn't give him a lot of credit for using his jab, using his lateral movement. But I felt like even if he would have won, they wouldn't have gave it to him. I don't think they would have gave it to him on the scorecards. I think for him to win that fight, he had to knock him out.
In terms of how the fight ended, this is a big topic. A lot of people feel that Saunders quit in the fight because of what happened. A lot of people have been going back and forth. A lot of fighters have been going in on Saunders, but with the way the fight ended because of his prior comments towards other fighters that have had that same type of injury. What'd you make of how the way the fight ended, and do you think it's right of fans to say that he quit?
I mean, at the end of the day, the only person who knows how he felt was him. What if he couldn't see? I mean, a lot of people when they talk shit, they're going to say whatever they want to say. But what if he would have kept going in the fight and had not have quit and, his eye would have been permanently damaged? You know what I mean? Some say he would have kept receiving shots if he would have kept fighting. So imagine you go in a fight, you come into a fight, and then you come out without an eye, or you can't even see. He's partially blind from that eye. You know what I mean? So I don't know. A lot of people can say whatever they want to say, but at the end of the day, nobody knows how Billy Joe Saunders felt, So, I mean, if he wanted to quit, it's up to him, man. I felt like, sir, there would have been some other people that would have kept going, man, but you don't want to just get permanently damaged, and especially with the eye, man. Maybe he'll live to box another day. If he would have kept going, maybe he wouldn't have had an eye or something, man. So, I don't know. Honestly, it's just people saying, talking, just keep talking.
I totally agree with you, and I put something out, saying that, it's not like it was like a swollen eye or a shut eye. Like he broke his face, and like one more punch, like he could go permanently blind. And like, I just don't get it. I don't think any fight for you guys is worth, losing an eye over, losing vision for your whole entire life. And you guys have to deal with it while people are just like, oh, well, you should have continued. I'm like, nah, man, like that's a legit injury in a fight to say, you know what, nah, I'm good. Like I don't want to be blind, and it's okay for someone to be like, you know what, I'm choosing not to continue anymore, because at the end of the day, you can't replace a freaking eye. Like
exactly, yeah.
But I think the only thing, guys, that is the difference with Billy Joe Saunders is that Billy Joe Saunders watched other fighters who put their lives on the line receive beatings, fight longer than he did with the same type of injury, and he ridiculed them, even saying basically that he'd leave the ring in a bag before he quit. And it's just, I think that is what the population, you're a victim of the things that you say. I mean, I think that's what Billy Joe Saunders is falling on his own sword.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's understandable too. I mean, if he went out there and say that he would never quit like that, and then he ends up quitting now, I know why people are talking shit. I didn't know that he ridiculed other fighters that had the same injury.
Daniel Dubois is who he ridiculed.
Then that's understandable. But at the end of the day, it's his decision. He has to live with it. So I mean, I didn't think he was gonna win anyways, but it was a good fight. I mean, now he could live to box another day, or he could see out of his eyes. So I mean,
no doubt.
he had to do what was best for his health.
No, yeah, I think that's why people are going so hard on him is because of that, But I think it's just, I don't know. I think the whole like the narrative of like a fighter quitting because they broke their jaw or like their eye socket broke, like I don't know. To me, like I think it's at that. It's not like he got hit with a hard punch, he got rattled, and then he said like, you know what, I'm dipping out. Nah, like that I could understand. But if it's like something like your face is broken, like I know there's been fighters that have fought through broken jaws, but to me, that's a legit thing to be like, nah, I'm good. My jaw got freaking broken. Like I'm not going to be able to talk right for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
David, let me ask you a question though. Because now see, I think that you're the type of guy that you recognize that Canelo's opponents have kind of come in slightly defeated in their minds already, right? Their things are slanted. But I generally feel like you're a different animal and that you're coming in truly, if you got that opportunity, that you truly lay everything out there to beat him. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, this is something I've wanted my whole life. This is if that fight would ever happen, that would be the biggest moment in my life. And just now that I just had a son, I'm extremely motivated. On every level, and I feel like everything is happening perfectly for me right now, and I'm in a great place in my life. So like I said, man, I'm excited and I'm ready. Hopefully I get that opportunity. For me, my fans, and my people, man, I'll make it a great fight.
Absolutely.
David, a lot of fans think that you're the guy that Canelo should be fighting next, that you're the guy that can legitly give him trouble and beat him. From what you saw of Canelo last Saturday night, how do you feel that you and him match up at this point, seeing that performance that he had?
Man, I'm always going to have confidence in myself. I feel like I could beat him. I've seen a lot of things that I know I could take advantage of. And I think the thing that with the Canelo's opponents, that they haven't had power. The last ones haven't had power. So you need power to keep Canelo off of you, or else he's just going to be right there all night. And that's the thing with me. I feel like I'm the hardest hitter at 168. I feel like 24 wins, 21 knockouts. So I definitely got the goods to give Canelo a good fight. I got a great jab, great body shots, great speed, and I put on a lot of pressure too. I feel like that's the type of fighter Canelo is when he fights the people he's fight. So he hasn't had an opponent that's is giving him a lot of trouble like that. And they all kind of seem like you said, they do seem defeated. Like they come in there like they're already beat. But with me, it's going to be the exact opposite, man. I have a lot of confidence. And, I'm very motivated. I believe in myself, and I know I'm gonna be the one that's going to beat Canelo.
Yeah, I think like the moment like gets to them, like they get kind of like overwhelmed, because it's not a normal thing to go out to like 73,000 freaking people like screaming against you, even though I think if you and Canelo were to fight, it'd be a very split crowd where like a lot are going to be for Canelo and a lot are going to be for you.
Yeah, and yeah, definitely, man. There's a lot of people that are supporting me. There's a lot of people that think that Canelo will beat me, but that at the end of the day, that just gives me more motivation to go out there to work as hard as possible to get the victory, and to shut all the haters up. You know what I mean? So, like I said, there's a lot of motivation going towards this fight, and I'm just excited. And I'm waiting for my opportunity. But like I said, I'm gonna be the one that beats Canelo.
Do you think you guys rumble in Texas? Do you want to fill out that stadium? Do you want to go somewhere even bigger? Do you think it's something that could happen in Mexico and like Azteca? Like, do you want to do it in Vegas? Like, where are you imagining it?
Wherever, man. I don't really care where I fight him, man. I just want to get in the ring with him. But Texas would be great. If I could fight, that would be a dream come true too. If I could fight in front of 73,000 people, like how they just fought. I don't see why not. You got two Mexican fighters. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to fill the stadium out. So, like I said, man, I'm just excited, man. I'm excited for the future.
Let me ask you, David, would you fight, and all jokes to the left, man, would you fight him in an 18-foot ring?
Oh, yeah, why not? 15-foot.
Yeah, he's laughing because Billy Joe made a big deal about the ring size. He wanted it like very, very big for that fight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, David.
Give me a second. I think it was just more mind games, bro. Honestly, I don't really think that he didn't really want to make that big of a deal. I think it was just mind games because they said that they were going to leave too. So I think they were just trying to, throw Canelo off. It was a pretty big ring, but I think it was just at the end of the day, it's more mind games than anything.
And another thing I want to ask is that it looks like a majority of Canelo's offense is done when a guy backs up to the ropes. What is it? And you're an active guy in the middle of the ring, in the corners, in the ropes. It doesn't matter. What's the difference between you and the other opponents? Do you think Canelo can back you up like he's backed other guys up?
I don't know. I don't get backed up too much. That's one of the things about me. I don't let people push me to the ropes or to the ropes. So I mean, he could try. I would love to see him try, but I feel like the difference for me and all the other fighters he's fought is that I think my power, is I'm stronger than all the guys he's fought. So we just have to see, how he reacts to the punches. Can I know once I hit that right spot, I'll stop anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. So if I get him with the right body shot, a right hook, some good uppercuts, man, I know I can hurt that guy.
Yeah, I think that's a big key point that you're touching on with all the other opponents that he's had at this point, Canelo, that his powers really made a difference on how they fight these fights, because once they feel it, they kind of go into more of a defensive mode, or it makes them hesitant to kind of stay in that mid-range or even in close range against him.
Yeah, and then with me too, like I have a really good jab, so I feel like the other fighters he's fought, he hasn't fought nobody with the jab. That's why Canelo just able to go in there and do whatever he wants to do, because nobody keeps him off of him. Nobody throws a jab. Nobody keeps him at distance. So I think there's a lot of things I do, that would really that would keep Canelo, back him off, with my power shots, my body shots. So, like I said, I don't know. I just have to get in there and see, how things go. But I feel like I'm very confident with what I could do to him.
Yeah, you're right, man. Because Saunders landed some pretty good jabs, and you look at the fights that Canelo's had some trouble with, like Mayweather, Trout, Laura. Those guys had very good jabs, and they scored on them.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a big key. When you fight Canelo, you have to be consistent with the jab. And my jab is not like any normal jab. My jab is basically like a right hand, man. So I can
power jab.
I hurt people with jabs. So, like I said, I'm very confident in a lot of the things I do that I know will, I could potentially hurt Canelo if I do the right stuff.
Were you one of those kids, like when you started sparring, that like you were 17 or 16 and you were hurting guys like 2 times your age, like 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds?
Yeah, I mean, I was like 12, 13. That's when I started hurting people. I mean, I was 16, 17, I was already sparring world champion. I was sparring Golovkin at 15, and I would get him with some good stuff too. But I think
you're crazy, dude.
That's the thing that helped me too, being a bigger kid, that my power just carried it. I feel like, that's why I've always had power, because I've always been a little fat kid, but I've always carried that power.
Dude, who wants to spar Golovkin at 15? Like, I'm busy playing Mario Kart. This dude right here sparring Golovkin at 15.
Yeah, man. And it was a great opportunity for me, man. And like when I sparred Golovkin, I sparred him for like almost 4 years, from 15 all the way to 19. So, and I learned a lot from that guy too, man. Hats off to Golovkin. He's a great dude. I learned a lot from that guy.
Let me ask you this, David. Canelo wants to be undisputed. Do you think he ends up fighting Caleb Plant?
I think so. I think it makes sense on both sides. Caleb Plant, he's 29 years old. So, he's probably in his prime right now too. And, he doesn't have no bigger opportunity than that. What else does he want? Fighting Canelo, that's the biggest opportunity anybody ever gets. So, I mean, I feel like it has to be made. I'm sure it's going to be made in September.
What do you think of it? How does it go based on what you saw from Canelo this weekend?
I think Canelo beats him easier than he did Billy Joe Saunders. I feel like I think he'll stop Caleb Plant with the body shot, to be honest with you. I really feel like Caleb Plant takes body shots too well. And, Canelo throws amazing body shots. So yeah.
And with that, David, and watching in particular the way that Canelo's offense as of late has been particularly devastating to guys. You see last Saturday night, he effectively just derailed Billy Joe Saunders' career with the eye socket injury. What is it that you offer that says, hey, he's not going to come in and bust my eye socket and break me down? What is it that you have that you're saying, that's not happening to me?
Well, I got the height advantage. I got the reach advantage. I feel like I got the overall power advantage too. But you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. You have to. I have to, when I get that fight, I'm gonna be at my best. So I don't even know what's gonna happen, because when you're so motivated, sometimes the best out of you the best comes out of you. You know what I mean? So I'm just excited. I have great speed, great power, great jabs. So I feel like Canelo hasn't fought nobody with the tools I have. So I feel like it's gonna be a way different fight when I get in there with him.
Did you see by chance Andrade crash the press conference? Did you see clips of that?
I seen clips of it, on Instagram.
What'd you make of all that?
I don't know. I think everybody wants to get at Canelo, man. So I feel like everybody from 160 to 175 is trying to do the most. you know, because everybody knows that once you get that fight with Canelo, it changes your life. So I think it was, you know, it was just a little drama show. You know, I think everybody's just talking shit. I liked it. It was pretty funny.
I thought it was funny, but I thought it was even funnier like hearing Canelo curse in English because you don't see like you're starting to see his personality before, like because before he'd be very quiet. Now like you're starting to hear him like curse and all that.
Yeah, that's pretty funny too. I think he's just tired of everybody talking shit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing. So I think it's just, you know, it's kind of getting to him. He's getting annoyed of everybody talking shit about him.
You know, David, man, I talked to you after your fight with Ronald Ellis. I was the first person to talk to you, and I asked you. I kind of touched on this before, man, but I wanted to ask you on our own channel. Was that, man? What is it inside of you, bro? How are you being so humble, dog? You're being so humble when number one, you're being truly avoided. It seems like, right? And then number two, you had two setbacks, man. One thing, you made a mistake. The other thing, you were in the PBC bubble. You lost the title on the scale. Man, you got to be bubbling on the inside, bro. How do you appear so calm? What's going on?
It's just the type of person I am, man. You know, I'm just very, you know, just happy to be here and you know, do what I love to do as for a job and get paid for it. You know what I mean? How I can't be mad at nothing. You know what I mean? I'm just, you know, I love boxing, and you know, sometimes things happen, sometimes bad things happen, but sometimes good things happen too. So you just gotta stay humble, man. And just for having all the people that support me, and you know, I couldn't be happier. So, you know, it's not that I'm just, this is just how I am all the time. You know, I'm just calm and I'm just enjoying my life every day.
Wow.
Let me ask you this, David. Do you think, you know, Canelo goes, he fights Caleb, he beats Caleb, he becomes undisputed. Do you feel that people should call him undisputed, seeing that you didn't lose the title, like, legitly?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he has all the belts. I mean, if you get one's IBF belt, you know, you got to give credit where credit is due. You know, you can't just because, you know, I lost my title and then he won it from somebody else. I'm not going to say that he doesn't deserve the belt, or, you know, if he doesn't deserve to be undisputed. If he wins the IBF title, he has all the belts, and then he deserves to be called undisputed.
Because I know some fighters would be like, hey, you never beat me for the title. I never lost it. Like, you got to come see me. Like, you can't walk around and say you're undisputed when you didn't fight the guy who never lost that belt.
Yeah, but I know I'm eventually going to get that opportunity. I know I'm going to get that opportunity. So, you know, I'm not going to go back and forth, you know, talking shit. I mean, I made the mistake, and, you know, he picked up the belt because, you know, he got the opportunity. So I know I'm going to get my chance, and, you know, I'm going to be more than ready when that opportunity comes. And like I said, I will be the one to shock the world.
I think once that fight happens, and hopefully it happens a year from now or a year and a half from now, I really think you guys are going to put more than 73,000 in Texas if that fight ends up being in Texas. Like, that's going to be a freaking crazy atmosphere that night.
Yeah, and it's going to be a war, man. I know, you know, Canelo's a great fighter, but I'm a great fighter as well. And, you know, I'm not laying down for nobody. So I know it's going to be a war.
You know, quickly, David, I want to just get your thoughts on some fights coming up. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
How do you see Jorge Linares versus Devin Haney?
That's going to be a good fight, man. I'm super excited for that fight. You know, I know Devin Haney, you know, he's a great dude. He's a good friend of mine. But I feel like, you know, I feel like this is Devin Haney's time. You know what I mean? He's, you know, he's getting older. You know, he's getting more power. But I feel like this is his time. And Linares had his opportunity already, but I feel like the next one up is Devin Haney. So I feel like he's going to take care of that fight without a problem.
Yeah, I'm excited to just see how he deals with the guy that's pretty quick and experienced and does have pop.
Yeah. I think what makes Devin Haney so good is his defense. That's why, you know, it's so hard to touch him, man, because he fights exactly like Floyd. He has the same defense. He has some good power, and he's fast too. So I think he beats all those guys at 135, to be honest. I feel he beats Garcia. I feel like he beats Teofimo too. I feel like he's the best at 135.
Wow. You think he beats Teo, huh?
Yeah, I think he beats Teo.
Mm.
But it will be a great fight, and that's the
Hell
thing
yeah,
about it, man.
fight.
It will be a great fight, man. I would love to see that fight. That's definitely a pay-per-view fight right there.
We have a undisputed fight that's happening next week, and undisputed fights are freaking rare. Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor. How do you see that fight?
That's going to be a great fight too, man. I got my boy Jose Ramirez winning. I feel like nobody can stop him right now, and he has a really good point in his career. And I just think he's an overall better fighter than Josh Taylor. I'm not taking nothing away from Josh Taylor. He's a great fighter, but I don't feel like he has what it takes to beat Jose Ramirez.
How do you see the fight playing out? Do you think it's going to be closer, or do you think like Jose is just going to try to impose himself and work the body?
I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. I think I got Jose Ramirez winning by knockout. I feel he stops him with a body shot.
Man, to get that kind of ending in an undisputed fight, that'd be good. That's really good.
But like the thing I like about Jose Ramirez is that he's always pushing for the knockout. What really made me a fan of him is when I seen him fight Maurice Hooker. That's his name, right?
Yeah, Mighty Mo.
That fight was a great fight, and it kind of, Maurice was coming back with some good shots. He was landing some good shots on Jose Ramirez, but Jose Ramirez is a warrior. He never gave up in that fight, and he got the freaking knockout, and in this spectacular fashion. And I feel like it was a great fight, and I feel that's the type of fighter he is, man. He's always looking for the knockout. He's not just trying to win on points. That dude's always trying to go for the knockout, and that's what really made me a fan of him.
Now, he comes to rumble. That's for sure. Like he comes to throw down.
And he also has some great combinations. I like his body shots. I like how he doubles up to the body. You know what I mean? He got some great combinations.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot better since I want to say, what's that one fight that he brawled with? Was it with Salcedo? Like when you compare it from that one to now, like he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Teofimo Lopez. You're gonna ask? I was gonna ask about the Teo fight.
That's a good one. Yes.
Yeah. Teo and George, dude, they're both talking a lot. I don't know. George is talking a lot. How do you see that one?
I think Teo beats him. I don't think. What's his name?
George Kambosos.
I don't think he has enough to go in there and threaten Teofimo. I think Teofimo is just too powerful, too fast, and he has some great combinations as well. I feel like he's gonna go in there and get a knockout.
Did you see the build-up? Did you see when they were face to face?
Yeah, and then they're pushing each other. Yeah, it was a good press conference, man. The thing about that fight, I don't like it because I don't like Triller. I don't like their.
You're not a fan of like the YouTube fights and the presentation,
man. Like, especially when they got freaking Snoop Dogg as a commentary talking shit through the whole fight. It's just, I don't know. It just seems like a little bit unprofessional to me. But I mean, it's gonna be a great fight. It's just that the Triller, I don't like the Triller fights.
I know a lot of people said that the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight had like a weird ending. Like, what'd you make of how the fight ended up? Did you see it?
Well, I didn't really see it. I just seen the knockout. But come on, man, it's Ben Askren. Ben Askren is probably the only fighter in MMA or in boxing that doesn't have hands, that doesn't have a stand-up. So I mean, Jake Paul did an amazing job picking, the one fighter that doesn't know how to fight.
A lot of people say it was like, oh, it was fixed, like that was a dive, like.
Well, he got caught with the good right hand.
He got caught, yeah.
He got knocked out.
And you could hear the punch. It was like a thud,
Yeah.
He got rocked, for sure.
Yeah.
What do you make of Charlo fighting this guy that he's fighting up next? Like a lot of people were like, "What the heck? Like, why is he fighting this guy? Like when there's a big money fight with you?"
I don't know, man. That dude, all he fucking does is run his fucking mouth, talking hella shit. But when it's time to really make these fights happen, and it's easy to make, we can make them happen easy. It seems like he always has a runaround. He didn't only do it to me. He did it to Andrade. He did it to Daniel Jacobs. I feel like he's just. His ego is too big, and he thinks he's better than what he actually is. Man, we could have made this fight happen in September. That would have been a great fight for boxing too. And it was, I told Luis de Cubas, I'm like, if you could tell Al Heyman, let's get this fight going on. He's all, well, we'll try it, but we don't know if Charlo wants to take the fight. And this guy, he's been talking shit for like 3 months, saying that he'll knock me out, that I'm a little kid, but then he says that he needs me to be vaccinated to fight him. Oh, no, he's not going up to 168 no more. He's going to stay at 160. So, I don't know. He's just talking a lot of shit. So, it's disappointing seeing him take that fight with the other guy, which we could have fought in September. We would have made more money together, and we could have possibly been a pay-per-view fight. So, I don't know. I was ready to make the fight happen, man. I thought it was going to get made, but I guess not.
Did you ever hear like an official thing? Like, did they say like, oh, he declined the fight, or did you hear like why they chose to pass on it?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it looked like it was gonna happen. When he came out with that interview saying that he'll knock me out, that I get hit too much, I'm a little kid. I was watching that and I was like, oh shit, we're about to make this fight happen. But I don't know. I never heard nothing else besides that. You know, I just hear a whole lot of bullshit on Instagram, him talking shit, and that's the only thing that comes out of his mouth.
Bro, what's that like sitting and minding your own business, and then you see Fight Hub TV, Jamal Charlo talking shit about you, or anybody else talking shit about you? What is that like? Like, were you minding your own business, and then boom, here's a video. The topic is David Benavidez, and it's disrespectful.
Nah, I mean, I like it. It's entertaining to me too. I mean, if they're talking all that shit, they better get ready to get knocked out, because I'm not playing with nobody. But when they don't want to make the fight happen, man, I don't know what's going on, but it's entertaining, man. I like seeing all this stuff, all this bullshit, talking shit. You know, it's fun at the end of the day.
Did you get vaccinated?
No, I ain't get vaccinated. No, unless we get a contract saying that I'm gonna get that fight if I get vaccinated. That's the only way I'll get vaccinated. But
dude, imagine if that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. It's like, you know, that's in the contract.
Yeah, I should just probably just go do it, huh? Just to talk shit about him. Be like, here, we're here getting the vaccine. Oh, we're gonna get this fight.
Oh man, that would be pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
If you could use this platform, man, to say something to any fighter that got their name, that got your name in their mouth, what would you say?
That they're gonna get fucked up. I'm not playing with nobody, man. And that's the thing. I'm calm. You guys see me. I'm a calm person. But when I get really serious, you guys know how I fight. I go in there. I go looking for the knockouts. I'm not running from nobody, and I'm not scared of nobody at all. So if they want to talk shit, they got something to say about me, and let's make the fight happen. I'll make the fight happen with anybody. I'm not scared of nobody.
Bro, like when a lot of fighters, like I think in general, like try to perceive something that they're not. But like there's very few that you bring up and say like, no, that dude will like literally like mess you up. Like, no, like that guy's a bad freaking guy. Like he likes like beating the crap out of people. Like you got a freaking mean streak to you, dude. Like when it's on, I've seen it like turn on. It's like, oh, like don't mess with this dude because he will F you up.
Yeah, man. It's just like I'm saying, that's the type of fighter I've always been. You know, I feel like that's why a lot of people respect me. Because I'm a humble dude, I'm a cool dude, but I don't let nobody fuck with me. You know what I mean? And I fight, the way I talk is the way I fight too. I'm not scared of nobody. I'm in there looking for the knockout constantly every round. And I think that's the difference about me. There's some fighters that they just try to act tough. They try to talk all this shit, but because they can't stop people, they can't knock people out. And they're not that type of fighter. So they got to find something else to be intimidating, to try to be intimidated. So that's why they talk a lot of shit. But me, I know what I could do and I know what I'm capable of. So I'm not trying to be something. I'm not trying to proceed to be something I'm not. I'm not going to be an asshole either. I like to be a cool person. I like to be a people person. But once you get me in the ring, I'm going to fuck you up. There's no way around that. I'm looking for the knockout always.
Yeah, I think you and your brother, man, just have that mean streak to you guys,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I give the credit to Phoenix, Arizona, man, because it's not an easy place to be in, and it's a really, it's a really dangerous place. So you gotta have a little attitude towards you, or you gotta have really confidence in yourself. So I feel like that's what made us like that. It's Phoenix, Arizona.
And speaking of your brother, bro, like, how is Jose? What's Jose up to? How's Jose?
He's doing good. He's been in the gym every day with me. We've been getting some good sparring sessions in, and he's been getting some good training in. He had kind of gained a little bit of weight because he's been off for like maybe 2 years, and he just had a daughter, so he's starting to lose weight. She probably weighs like 175. So we've been getting some good work in, and hopefully, I think they're in talks that he's going to sign with PBC and Al Heyman. So I'm excited, man. Potentially, he'll probably be able to. I think he'll fight on my undercard. So I'm very excited for that too. I haven't fought on the same card with my brother in so long, so I'm excited about that. And hopefully he could get back to where he is. He looks really motivated. He's only had one loss against one of the best welterweights in the world. So I know that he still has a lot of fight in him, man. And I know if he dedicates himself again, and he just looks for the. He really just motivates himself. I feel like he could be world champion at 147, because he has it in him, man.
Yeah, I remember the stories that I would hear of your brother, man. Like when I first started, and they'd always mention your brother, like sparring all these guys and be like, no, this is the dude. Like he messes all of them up.
Yeah, and he's been doing that he has 20-something years boxing. You know, he's been boxing since he was 5 years old. So I know there's still a lot of fight left in him. And you know, it's just for him. You know, if he wants to get it back or not. You know, he has to motivate himself. I know that loss is. You know, he took that loss hard. You know, obviously he hasn't fought in almost 2 years. But I know if he gets right back on track, or if he gets back in the gym or if he stays motivated, you know, he could get right back on track to where he was.
And most people don't give him credit for the way that he accounted for himself versus Terrence Crawford. Man, look, this was a last round, last minute KO. And for all intents and purposes, bro, I barely had Crawford winning that fight. This fight was close as hell. The way that he came out, the way he fought, especially in the beginning and the middle rounds, man, your brother's a lot like a mongoose, but the way that he kind of sits in the pocket, man, and he's willing to play high risk chess.
Yeah,
it's impressive to watch him fight.
He has some good power to him, man. He has some really good power. I mean, he's got me some good shots in sparring, so I know he could hurt anybody at that division because, you know, he's my brother. So he's very talented. He has a lot of power. So now I'm just very excited, you know, to be in the gym with him, motivating him because I know he could become world champion. But you know, it's not going to be easy. You know, the road to the top isn't easy. So you know, I'm still going to be there, motivating him every day, and hopefully he becomes world champion again.
Yeah, your brother's a very underrated counterpuncher.
Yeah,
very underrated.
Yeah, and the thing about him too is he has an amazing jab. His jab is even better than mine. I've been trying to like copy his jab, like the way he throws it. The dude, his balance when he throws the jab to, you know, everything about he throws a textbook jab, and the left hook to the body too. You know, so he has he's very talented, man. So I'm like I said, I'm just excited to see what happens in the next 2 years because I know he has an opportunity to become one of the best.
One of the best buildups to a fight, Marcos, man, was the Crawford Benavidez buildup, man. That was incredible.
And I remember that too, man. That even until the weigh, man, and he freaking he dodged that shot, but
it was incredible.
Yeah,
because Terrence like swung at him like that was like full speed.
He jumped at him,
yeah.
That was incredible, man.
But you know what that told me too? That told me that Jose was like when I saw it, I was like, oh, Jose's sharp. He's sharp.
Oh yeah. He's and then too, like when my brother, man, when we fought, cause we went to Omaha. Fuck, that crowd was crazy, man. We in there, everybody's booing the shit out of us, man. And he just never got he didn't let that fuck with him in his focus. You know, he was doing good, but it was just that last shot, man. And it was very hard to see that too, man. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. It was hard to see my brother get knocked out like that. But he did great, you know, against one of the best fighters in the world today. You know, and then nobody else has looked like that against Crawford. You know, Crawford just dominates everybody. You know, and he couldn't dominate my brother, you know, until the last round. So that just lets you know that my brother, you know, he's very talented and he's on another level too.
And it's annoying because everybody's talking about how Crawford's resume is this or his resume is not that. But the truth about his resume is he's beating guys like David Benavidez, who otherwise I don't know who in the welterweight division would beat him.
Yeah. My bad. My speaker was messed up. I didn't.
Yeah, you're entering the matrix right now.
Is that your guys' stuff or is it my phone? Because I can't really.
I think it might be on your end, David.
Yeah, it might be.
Then give me a second. Fuck. I'm not really sure.
I still hear it.
Yeah. Sounds like you're getting some sort of interference or something like that.
I think my phone fucked up, but I don't know how to fix it.
Okay. It's all good, man. Hey, well, you know what, David? We've had you on here for longer than I thought we would.
Yeah,
I think we could keep on chatting. But hey, man, thank you for being on here with us, chatting with us, and letting us know what's going on. Just quickly, David, let everybody know when you're going to come back in the ring and where they can see you.
I'm going to be back in the ring on August 28th. They still haven't really decided where the fights are going to be, but hopefully, you know, now everything's opening up. You know, I can have my crowd back there, you know, see me fight because, you know, I really need the crowd. I need the fans, man, you know, to keep getting these great stoppages. But August 28th, you know, I'm already in the gym right now. Everything is looking good, so I promise to give you guys another great fight and another great stoppage.
That was the undefeated David Benavidez returning to the ring, fighting Jose Uzcategui coming up August 28th. David, man, thank you so much for joining us, bro. Really appreciate it.
Looking out, David, bro. Catch up with you, my guy.
That was David Benavidez. Everybody, round of likes for David Benavidez, man. Very, very cool of him to stop by with us and talk with us. So over the weekend, man, obviously we talked about it with David Benavidez. Canelo stopping Billy Joe Saunders. Bro, that atmosphere was crazy, Marcus. 73 freaking thousand people there, man. It was a crazy atmosphere, dude. Crazy freaking atmosphere. A part of me is like, it felt really good to see a crowd that big there, but people are still a little agitated, bro. There was fights breaking out left and right, dog. Fights breaking out left and right.
I bet, man. You know, it was something just to watch on television and to see the atmosphere and to see you could almost feel it, man, through the TV, man. It was incredible. I thought that DAZN did a good job by bringing on Carl Froch and Roy Jones Jr. I thought that definitely was a good broadcast nuance that they brought in, but the fight from Canelo, it went the way we thought it was going to go. I said that he was going to KO Billy Joe in 9. Billy Joe quit on the stool in 8. Just there's different levels to this, man. This Canelo is the top of what we have here in the United States as for boxers. As far as I know that he's from Mexico, but he's part of the U.S. lineage of boxing. Look, it's going to take a special guy from the UK to come over here and to make any noise on the top level. You see it with Tyson Fury. I really think he's all they got right now, man. Until somebody proves me wrong.
Josh Taylor's legit, bro.
Check that. Yeah, never mind. You know what, man? Josh Taylor is definitely another guy that's the real deal. You're right about that, man. I can't forget about Josh Taylor. Yeah. But, you know, besides them, I think that, you know.
Yeah, Hank, did you see the video of this? Did you see Billy Joe Saunders' dad get dropped by security? Yeah, I saw a video of that. It was really disturbing. That security guard for sure probably got fired, man, when they found out that happened. Like, I understand, like, he doesn't know that was Saunders' dad. You know, he thinks it's just some random guy, like, trying to get into the ring. So, you know, his job is to protect, you know, that area to make sure, like, no one gets in. No. But, yeah, like, I think they, like, jumped him. Like, the Saunders team, like, was all over him. But I was just like, dude, poor dad. He's, like, in his 50s or in his 60s, dude, getting pushed. Yeah, that guy, like, pushed him, man. It was it's pretty nuts, dude. I want to touch back on the whole Saunders quitting thing. You know, it kind of does bother me that people are saying, like, he quit, this guy's a quitter, da-da-da-da-da. And I'll tell you a few reasons why. You know, and I saw, like, the posts from, like, the other fighters that, you know, have said, like, hey, you know, look at this guy. This guy had a swollen eye. You know, they kept going and they kept fighting. And I'm like,
absolutely.
But none of those guys had a broken orbital bone. Okay. That was swelling. The eye swelled up. They're, you know, it's swollen. They're fine. But none of those guys had a broken eye socket. Okay.
Right.
And none of those guys were at risk of going freaking blind. At the end of the day, these guys don't owe us anything. Okay. We're not going to be the ones that pay their medical bills. We're not going to be checking in on them 10 years from now to see how his eye's doing. You know, he's going to have to imagine if he went all 12 rounds with a broken orbital, like, he for sure would have been blind, you know, going around with a freaking eye patch the rest of his life. You know, his family having to go through that. Like, you know, exactly. Hank brings up, look what happened to Israel Vasquez and his eye issues. You know, for those of you that don't know, Israel Vasquez had 4 fights with Rafael Marquez. Freaking wars, but he took a lot of damage in those fights with Israel Vasquez. I mean, excuse me, with Rafael Marquez. And his eye, I don't know what exactly happened, but he had to get eye surgery, got the eye removed, has a glass eye now. You know, he's
shout out to Israel Vasquez, bro. Yeah. He's a friend of mine, bro. He's also battling other health issues.
He is
these
days.
Know,
but like, okay, like, look, you know, he did all these wars, you know, and look what happened. You know, no one checks on Israel.
They walk right by him like he's a nobody.
Exactly. You know, so it's like, you guys all got to chill, dog. Like,
Yeah.
I understand if like, and they're saying Margarito almost lost his eye. Yeah, look what happened to Margarito. Look,
Yeah.
if they would have stopped it, he could have had a longer career. Look what happened.
Mhm.
He was never the same after that eye.
And
Look what
look
happened.
at them. Look at them, bro. Look at them. I mean, these guys, the one thing that we're not recognizing as fight fans is that these dudes are going home with their mistakes. You forget to slip a right hand, you go home with a big ass left eye injury, or your ribs are sore and it hurts when you're trying to poop. I mean, these are things that they are suffering from weeks and months and maybe sometimes years. Look at Jared McClellan. These are guys that have paid ultimate prices in boxing, and we're not talking about dying, but we're talking about life-altering beatings. If Billy Joe Saunders continued that fight, we'd potentially be talking about a tragedy in the ring. You could tell when Canelo was throwing that right uppercut, he was throwing that right uppercut with the worst of intentions.
Bro,
And
you
when
can
it
hear that
landed,
shot. So
scary.
I was there on press row, and we heard that shot, and it was loud, dude. It
Yeah,
like
man.
it sounded like this. Like you could hear it from like 40 feet away, like when he hit it.
Same.
And when he landed, I was like, oh damn, like that was a big freaking shot.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
And- and-
back
hey,
to
what
that
about
point.
the-
Hold on. Back to
Yeah,
that point. They're saying, oh, Margarito, look what happened to Margarito in the next fight against Cotto. The eye swelled up. Like he wasn't ever the same. Kell Brook had 2 eye sockets broken with Golovkin and Spence. Look what he's not the same guy anymore. He's not the same guy. It like going back to what I said. If he would have got hit with the punch and it stunned him, it rattled him. He went to the corner, didn't have a broken eye socket. It just stunned him, rattled him. And he's like, you know what? I don't want to go anymore. All right, it's fair. Give the guy criticism for that. And yes, I understand that the biggest reason as to why people are attacking him is because the way he reacted towards Daniel Dubois, okay? And saying
Absolutely.
like, oh, if that ever happened to me, I get it. I understand. I totally understand. But just take that out of it. Take all of that out of it. They were right to stop the fight. And honestly, it's okay for him to say, I'm good. I'm not good to continue.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, man, like I said, he needs to look out for his health. He's the
Absolutely.
one that's going to be with the repercussions of that and suffering through that, and his family suffering through that.
Man, look, and you know what?
A fight's not worth your life.
No.
Even though fighters say that, it's not.
No.
It's not worth your life. A fight is not worth a fighter going blind. I'm sorry, like some of you guys may disagree and be like, nah, we want our fighters to be warriors, to leave it all on the line. You live by the sword, die for the sword. Nah, bro, come on.
Check this out. If you're a person that's saying that and you've used sick days in the last 2 years, you can stop. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these are we got to be realistic about what we're watching.
Look, hold on. Look. I just saw a thing here that I completely disagree with. Look, Edgar. He's in the wrong profession then. Try telling that to a champ. Bro. Come on, bro. Come on. If that happened to a world champion too, like
he was no, he is a world. He was a world champion.
He is a world champion. Two-way world champion. Like
he just lost. He's a former world champion now.
Let me tell you this. Anybody saying, oh, he quit, like this guy has no heart. Any one of you mofos, all right? You put in that position, get hit in your shot. By that shot, 1, you would have been knocked the F out. 2, you wouldn't even made it out of 30 seconds out of a real fight, to be honest. But like he had every right to say, nah, man, I'm good, dude. I'm good. That's it's not even a thing that it's heart. What do you mean? It's like, come on, man. The guy broke his freaking eye. I'm saying you go out on your shield. I understand that, bro. But
sounds good.
To a certain extent, dog. To a certain extent, they don't owe us that. They don't owe us that. They don't owe you that. They don't owe me that. Well, no, we're not looking out for them. We're not paying for their medical bills. Did any of you guys go and see Billy Joe Saunders at the hospital yesterday or whenever he got out to see if he was okay? You guys text him, call him? Nah, none of us do. They don't owe us that. You guys shouldn't criticize him for wanting to have a normal life after boxing and be able to see out his freaking eye. Like, it's totally uncalled for.
And make no mistake about it, man. the callousness of boxing. If Billy Joe Saunders doesn't quit, he would have been seriously beaten, and his life would have maybe been ended, or something else, man. It could have been a tragedy. Canelo was hell bent on destruction. Like we said on last Monday's show, this isn't that version of Canelo is not somebody to play around with. If you come in half stepping, and I'm gonna tell you guys this, like I told you the last week and the week before, Canelo right now, this is the best Canelo that you're gonna see. And the next fight versus Caleb Plant, look out. I'm serious. Look out. Caleb Plant won't quit. Caleb Plant is going to come forward and fight. I think that to a certain extent, he's going to be outgunned when it gets to the middle of the fight. It's not going to be pretty.
I don't know. I'm just, here's another thing. Hey, Marcos, Naoya Inoue beating Andrade with a broken orbital. Yes, I understand. I know. I know.
We understand, and we understand that some guys, but here's the thing though. Versus Inoue versus my guy Nonito Donaire. Inoue was winning. Donaire was the one that was catching Inoue periodically, that was keeping himself in the fight. Billy Joe Saunders was getting ready to get his ass whooped completely. After that 8th round, when Canelo's coming toward him and doing this is a guy who's getting ready to dissolve you like Alka-Seltzer, bro. He made a smart choice. It was a business decision, like Deion Sanders says. It's a business decision.
No, I know this guy's controversial because of comments that he's made in the past. But Paulie brought up a good point. Paulie Malignaggi on Twitter. He's saying that for anyone playing the armchair critic in regards to Billy Joe Saunders retiring on his stool on Saturday night, an old article about blown out orbital bone injuries in some fighters that have endured them. This injury changes a fighter. They are rarely the same ever again. It's true. Margarito, never the same. Kell Brook, never the same.
You broke your face.
Yeah. Inoue, we don't know. He hasn't had a fight.
No, absolutely. And Nakatani, we're bypassing the point, and let's touch on this really quickly. Nakatani has had his eye socket broken twice and is getting ready to be an opponent for he just fought Felix Verdejo and knocked Verdejo out. He's getting ready to fight Lomachenko, but this is a guy that's coming off of 2 orbital socket fractures. This isn't an injury that's a joke. This is, imagine it, your face is broken, and every subsequent shot could change the shape of your face, bro.
It's not worth it. Bro, what do you think where the eye rests? The eye rests on the freaking cheekbone. Come on, dog.
He needs a little anatomical help, bro. He's not sure what's connected to what. Yeah, the eye.
Man. Everyone's bringing up Inoue. This was like one instance, man. Like, and we don't know how Inoue's going to be. We don't know how bad the fracture was to Inoue.
Look how long he's been out.
Hold on. Not even that. We don't know how bad that injury is to Saunders. I saw a photo of the X-ray. It looked like the whole face was shattered. Like this side was shattered.
Yeah, it was like more than it was like 4 fractures, bro. Come on, man. Like there's no way he can fight, man. I mean, his eye, he's got that dead bird eye. You can always tell when a guy gets an orbital bone fracture because
it swelled up right away.
Yeah, but their eyeball itself kind of starts to look like a butthole, man. It just kind of shrinks and gets real small and weird looking. Who wants to walk around like that, bro? Billy Joe Saunders, no bromo, is a good looking dude. He's a young guy.
Checking out Billy Joe? What the hell?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just being realistic. Game recognized game, dog. You know what I'm saying? He's a good looking guy. He should have a life after boxing. You see a lot of young boxers, but you don't see a lot of old boxers for a reason.
Sonya,
get out.
I think Sonya brings up the reason why all this is really happening, because Billy was disrespectful to the Mexican media and the Mexican fans at the fight. They asked Canelo for a knockout. Obviously, I've heard people, say that, oh, well, if he, would have just shut his mouth and never said what he said about Daniel Dubois, we wouldn't get this heat from us. That's karma, yada, yada, yada. I understand that, okay? But at the end of the day, like, fight's not worth your life, dog. Like, these guys have families, okay? They're people too. And obviously, they put just about everything on the line when they fight. for themselves, for their family, for entertainment, for fans.
Mhm.
But it's just not worth it. Not like I said,
No,
I think the view needs to change based on the circumstance.
absolutely.
Like I said before, if he was rocked and then he chose not to go on with the fight, yes, I feel that's warranted. But not when he's at risk to go blind. Like, come
Bro,
on,
look,
bro.
you can't fight Canelo with one eye. That's ridiculous. To fight Canelo with one eye is irresponsible. Canelo can kill you, bro. The way that he was punching, the way that he throws those body shots, man, he throws the left hook to the liver and the left hook to the head like he's got a patent on it, bro. He's in his bag right now. Billy Joe, he did talk a lot. I wanted to touch on what the fan said about his disrespect for the Mexican media. I saw the video where he was saying that the Mexican, the host, the guy that was interviewing him, the interviewer, where he was saying your breath smells like shit. Look,
No,
man.
that pissed me off because that guy's my homie.
Yeah,
Chava's
that
my
guy's a
friend.
nice guy. You see him all the time. He's a real nice guy.
And it wasn't just him. He was being like that. He was doing that to Tino. He was doing that to other people too.
But he didn't show a lot of class. He didn't display himself very well. I think that the UK guys are kind of, and we'll see. It's interesting to watch what Josh Taylor does. I think that these guys are kind of resting on Tyson Fury's laurels a little bit. You're not Tyson Fury. A lot of you guys are not close to being pound for pound in your divisions. Tyson Fury is an anomaly coming from the UK. He's not the rule. You guys still got dudes.
Hold on, Marcus. Like this, you sound like you're accepting quitters. I told you it's based on circumstance, bro. All right, like imagine, like, okay, look at the instance of like Pritchard Cologne. What happened to him? Okay, he was taking so many shots, and look what happened.
Terrible. For what? You to watch TV while you eating chips and drinking beer?
Well, it's not even that. People will be like, oh, like imagine that instant happens again. The guy's like the corner. At the end of the day, corner's job is to look out for the fighter, look out the best interest of the health and safety of the fighter. That's what they're there for. That's what their job is. That's what a good corner, a responsible corner, is gonna do. Like I don't know, man. I'm completely like dumbfounded as to like this stuff. He quit. He's a quitter. Like, come on, man. Like, get that.
Yeah, it's bothersome, man. It is
bothersome, man. Like, come on, dude. Anybody in that position would have done the same damn thing. Any other corner person in that position would have done the same damn thing. Stop the damn fight because it's not worth losing a freaking eyeball.
Man, and the thing is, with a charging Canelo who was going to come out in the 9th round and hit you with every shot.
Alex, he deserved it. Nah, he doesn't deserve to go blind. He deserves to take a beating. Yeah, maybe. Okay, if you're not a fan of his or a Canelo fan, based on his treatment, things he's said in the past. Look, I'm not defending the guy for what he's done in the past. He's done some stupid ass ish in the past, some dumbass stuff in the past.
Absolutely,
that's not cool, But it's like wishing death on someone. You don't wish death on people. It's not.
Yeah, it's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it. I think that in his own private time now, while he lies in his hospital room, I think that there's going to be some real reflection for Billy Joe Saunders about the last 2 years of his life and his boxing life.
I would not be surprised if he retires.
I wouldn't be surprised either. This is a career damaging injury for him. This isn't something that you just bounce back from. Especially the way that he took those fractures, and depending on the repair, maybe Billy Joe says, hey, it's not worth it anymore. His doctor says, hey, look, this isn't gonna work out the way you want it to work.
Canelo is absolutely pound for pound numero uno, and I know you all love him here. However, unifying 168 was easier than 160. What's he gonna do after Caleb Plant? I don't think Caleb Plant is an easy fight for Canelo. A lot of people are gonna think I'm crazy, that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But I think that Caleb has a very, very good jab, and his power jab. I think he can give Canelo problems in that fight, and I think, and you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but I think he gives a better performance than what Saunders did in that fight because of Just it's for me, it's the eye test. Like I know what the guy can do. I know what he can do. But it's what David touched on a little while back. These guys can't take the power of Canelo, and it wears them down. So that might be a big thing there in that fight. But what does he do after? I did an interview with Eddie a week and a half ago, and I asked him that, like, hey, what happens if Canelo becomes undisputed? He freaking retire. He can retire, and he'll be known probably as one of the greatest Mexicans like ever, like one or two. What is there to do? And he said, like, you know what? I would like for Canelo to move up in weight to 175 again and fight Arthur Beterbiev. Beterbiev is strong, but Canelo is strong too. And Canelo has fought light heavyweights. And I'm like, dude, you're crazy.
Wow.
You are nuts, dog. Like, what?
Wow.
He's been saying this.
Got some gazones on me.
Well, dude, like Canelo was like, what the hell, man? At the post fight, Canelo's like, what the hell? These guys are going to want me to go all the way up to heavyweight. Like, come on, like, calm down. I agree with him. Like, Beterbiev, like, I could see a path to victory there for Canelo because Beterbiev is no special effects. He's very robotic, but the dude's like a freaking Terminator, though. Runs you over, steamrolls you. I don't think Canelo has ever been hit by a guy like that. It's a big risk. Canelo can win. He's the quicker guy, and he can use his speed and his counterpunching against a guy like Bivol, and he can hurt light heavyweights. He knocked out Kovalev, but Beterbiev, geez, that's a scary freaking fight. But if he's able to move up and take that guy out, done.
I think that's wishful thinking, man.
If Canelo moves up in weight and fights Beterbiev and beats Beterbiev, it's hard for me to admit this because I know the special place these fighters have in our hearts, like Chavez and Marquez and Finito and Salvador Sanchez. But accomplishment-wise, I think Canelo's already done more than a majority of those guys. More titles, that's for sure, than all of them. Chavez only did 3 weight classes, I think. If he's able undisputed 168 and then knocks out the top guy 175, like it's donezo. Like whether you like it or not, like he's it. He's the top Mexican fighter ever, regardless of getting to 89-0. Like no one's ever freaking done that. The accomplishments.
I think it sounds good. I think Eddie Reynoso might be a little high off of this victory here. He might still be feeling good off of this victory. I don't think that that's a very realistic fight. I think that Beterbiev, the only thing that they've got for Beterbiev is that Beterbiev is getting older. There's definitely, that's a hell of a fight. That would be a great fight. I just don't think that it happens. Back to Plant Canelo.
Hold on. Beterbiev is not a league. Get the, like Roger Mayweather said, DYSKAB, bro. Come on, dog.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, and that's all. There's a contingent of folks who don't realize that they're showing that they're not watching boxing when they make comments that don't make sense. So that's another one there. But Plant versus Canelo, I see that differently than you see it, broski. I think that Plant versus Canelo. Plant is from Tennessee. Plant isn't going to. I think Plant will absorb more punishment, and they'll have to save him from himself versus Canelo. To be honest, I believe that Plant probably would have success early, but once Canelo starts touching him up as well, I think that his game plan goes to shambles as well, bro. It's something he tends to, when he gets contacted, he covers up and he sits there for a second. Those 3 or 4 seconds of covering up versus Canelo are going to equal rib fractures and hurt arms, man. You can't cover up versus Canelo. You can't sit there and let him pound on you. And I think that's what Plant will be doing at periods in time, and he'd ultimately pay for it.
MEasyBX, thank you for the super chat. Everybody go ahead and give this a like. We had David Benavidez on for like 40-something minutes. On the chat, so watch that if you're tuning in to us right now. Give it a little rewind and subscribe to the channel as well. MEZBX. Who has Caleb Plant fought since Uzcategui? Canelo will wash Caleb Plant. Truax, who's at the end of his career, was putting hands on Plant, and I think you touched on this, Marcus. Was that, if Truax was doing that, what happens if it's Canelo?
My God.
Valid point. But that's anybody. If Canelo puts hands on anybody like that, they're gonna crumble.
You look at Plant post fight, his last fight, he was red. He had marks on him and stuff. He wasn't puffy and swollen.
It's boxing, bro. You're gonna get
We
hit,
understand that, but the thing is, man, is that's versus a guy who, compared to Canelo, is probably a D fighter, bro. Let's be honest. Compared to Canelo, his last opponent is a D fighter.
Who?
Canelo, Plant.
Truax? Oh,
absolutely.
Wait, Plant's a D fighter?
Compared to Canelo, he's a high C. He's a CD fighter.
Bro.
Compared to Canelo.
Hold on, Doc. Hold on.
Come on, guy.
Plant's an elite fighter. World champion.
What I'm saying is that Plant's
I know what. Truax
compared to Canelo
is older. Truax is at the end of this.
But
career.
He's a D fighter compared to Canelo.
Yeah.
No.
Hold on. Truax was former world champion. Okay, beat DeGale, lost to DeGale. Truax is not no walkover in the park, dog.
At any point in his life.
Obviously, because Canelo's a special talent, but it's not like Truax was like some freaking Tijuana taco guy. Okay,
not at all. But it just goes to show the skill of Canelo, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's not a slight to Truax. Truax has been a warrior in the sport. He's fought for over 2 generations. It seemed like he's been here forever. But the thing is that when you start putting skill for skill, Canelo is that much further above these other guys.
Well, obviously he's number 1 pound for pound. I agree with that. But to say that Caleb Truax is a D level fighter, I'm like, I don't know about that.
Versus when compared to Canelo. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I know it doesn't sound good. But the thing is that he wouldn't be able to do anything he did against Truax versus Canelo.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. If Caleb Truax was to fight Canelo, obviously Canelo would win. Canelo would be the favorite in the fight, and I think Canelo would win in spectacular fashion. Yes, but you got to give Truax his respect. The guy was a former world champion.
No disrespect to him, because he got in and he fought. But the thing is, man, it's levels to this. I really feel like
true. There is levels. Yeah.
Canelo coming in and fighting against Plant. I think Plant represents himself well in the beginning of the fight, but just too much. I don't think that he has the pressure and the power to keep. It'll be another story like this last one. Yeah, he'll land some flashy shots. He'll throw things, but once Canelo adjudicates, hey, he doesn't hit hard enough to keep my ass off of him, he's got a serious problem, and it's not going to end well.
Yeah, on the inside too. I think also if Canelo cuts the ring off and is able to make the fight on the inside, then that's a big thing. I think Caleb is going to have to game plan for in that fight, is knowing that Canelo is going to cut the ring off and want to fight him on the close distance. Marco Aguirre, who can beat Canelo today? Honestly,
hey, thank you for your service, bro. It looked like you was wearing a uniform, homie. Thank you for your service, doggy.
Honestly, bro, I don't think anybody beats Canelo right now, to be honest. Honestly, the only guy that I think can give Canelo problems are the higher weight class guys like Beterbiev and Bivol. Everyone else, like Golovkin, you guys know me, I love Gennady, but I think he's a little age is catching up. Charlo, I love Charlo. I rock with the Charlos, dude. I love those guys. He has a good chance in that fight because he has a hell of a freaking jab. Thing is, though, it's Canelo's freaking power, and Canelo's a lot faster, and Canelo's going to be the one that is going to be countering Charlo, I think, in that fight, because Charlo's going to come forward to him, and that plays into Canelo's strengths, him counterpunching, and I look at the Derevyanchenko fight. He had success when he was fighting on the inside, and Canelo's 10 times a fighter than he is. Oh, you know what? I'm mistaken. Sorry. And David, those are the only 3 guys that I think that could give Canelo problems. Are those 3 guys? I brain farted there. But everyone else, I just don't see it. At 160, I don't see it. 168, David. At 175, better Biev and Bivol. I think those are the guys that you'll sit there and you'll be like, this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be interesting. Let's see how he does. And I think Bivol, out of everyone, is freaking tricky, man. The rhythm, the timing, but he'll never get the shot because
Bivol reminds me of Khabib, bro.
Khabib
reminds me of the boxing Khabib. He is steadfast on his approach. He trains in a particular and certain way that he's always trained. He does what he does very well. He's not going to fight outside of what he normally does. I think he represents an extra hard task for Canelo. I think that he draws blood from Canelo, bro. That would be a fight that boxing purists would love. I think a lot of Canelo fans will be cringing at a lot of moments in that fight, bro. That would be a rough fight for Canelo.
Duran Dise says, any chance we see Andrade Canelo, since Andrade is a DAZN fighter, and now the fight is much bigger because of that press conference. Money talks. No. Come on, bro.
No. Hey, no, guys. No. That's not going to happen, mate. Like,
that was hilarious, though, what Canelo said. You want payday. You want payday. Dude, I love seeing, like, Canelo's new personality, but no, I don't think it's the same thing as, like, when Laura went up on stage and, challenged Canelo and told him, hey, like, what the hell, like, you got to fight me. I don't think this is the same because, look at the last fight that Andrade had against what's his face, against Liam. Canelo hits him like that. Canelo's gonna put him on his butt. Christopher Reyes, you're dumb, bro. I'm Mexican, dog. Come on.
Biased towards Mexican, sadly.
Yeah,
you're failing as a student, Chris Reyes. Go back to class.
You're freaking Mexican, bro. Come on, get out of here. Oh man,
he just named you Salvadorian real quick, bro.
Yeah, nothing wrong with Salvadorians, but like,
yeah, nothing wrong with them. But you know what I'm saying? I like how he just told you what you were.
Yeah. They ask, who the heck is Bilal beating? No one. I don't know. What do you make, bro?
Hey, you know what, man? I think that Bival's style is what it is. I think that Bivol out of the 175s is the one that I think Canelo can probably get the closest to having a Canelo style fight against. Bivol is there to be touched up, but I think that Bivol is very durable. The 175 guys are these are fights that go to the final bell. There's blood on both sides. These aren't the easy touches that are at 68. Look, he's found a nice little vein at 68. Let's be honest, man. 68 is probably the easiest division for him as an individual to unify. That's why he's there. Because 60 is not easy. 60, he wouldn't unify 60.
There will be this blood a lot too. People saying like, saying that Canelo's ducking, all these crazy like, Canelo's ducking Godzilla, because like the criticism that Canelo gets, which is very unwarranted. We're gonna go ahead and chime in, Yair, in this. It's Yair's birthday, everybody. Happy birthday, Yair!
Happy birthday, dog.
What's up, y'all? Sorry I came late. I just had dinner with the family for the birthday. I try to get in as soon as possible.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff, man. Everybody go ahead and wish Yair a happy birthday. Better late than never. Let's see, back to Moneybags. There you go. Moneybags.
Yeah.
Team Moneybags.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man. Well, next week, on an ending note, let me get the schedule here. Luis Neri versus Brandon Figueroa on the 15th this Saturday. I think that's going to be an explosive fight, a potential fight of the year written all over it, or at least war as well. This guy right here, Angel Baby. Oh, God. You're not Mexican, bro. I heard you speak in Spanish before and you say vos instead of tú. You Salvador. You don't have to light a kick it, Marcos. Vete la verga, güey. This guy's retarded. Come on, this guy. Because I said vos. Because I was trying to be correct. That's why I used vos. I know, like Mexicans are the only ones that say usted, and I think the guy that I was interviewing wasn't Mexican, to be honest. but whatever. This guy.
And
Lávate las
speaking of that,
nalgas. I tell that guy, lávate las nalgas, güey. There you go.
that Figueroa and Neri fight,
Oh,
bro.
there you
That's
go.
gonna be a
Back to the
great fight,
Figueroa.
man.
Back to the Figueroa fight. Brandon, you saw. Brandon, Marcus, you saw Brandon. I believe like in his last or second to last day in camp.
Yeah, man. Be
How did he
fit.
look?
Bro. Brandon it's kind of a trip, bro. First off, for the guys that don't know, the Yoel Diaz gym up in Indio, man, this is a warrior academy. You walk in, you immediately get the vibe that this is somewhere in here there's no playing, there's no joking in here. There's not many smiles, man. It smells like sweat. He came in and he did his work. It was trying, with cutting weight. It kind of gives you a vibe into it's not easy. He sparred 10 rounds with like 5 different people, bro. So I expect good things from him. I expect Figueroa to look well. He landed his fair share of combinations. It looks like he's been kind of working on he's got a high punch output, and expect the same thing from him. And I expect big things from Figueroa, and don't be surprised if he pulls it off.
Tomorrow we'll be chatting with Nettie. So
Oh yeah, you got that locked in?
yeah, I already got that locked in. So tomorrow,
That's dope.
yeah.
That's a tough fight. I'll tell you why. Because Brandon's style, he's in the pocket. He fights just like Omar.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you should fight someone like Neri like that. To be honest, you don't want to be exchanging with a guy like that, man. Like Neri got freaking unreal freaking pop, like just pop like crazy. And Brandon. Sometimes he gets lulls into these wars when he doesn't need to get lulled. And Neri's a guy you don't want to get into a war with, man.
No, absolutely not, man. And the thing that I noticed with Brandon in camp last week, bro, was that Brandon, like I know we've all said like, hey, Brandon's team is his family and everything, bro. Like these folks aren't there just to like be there. They're all doing different things. His mom was doing one thing. His sister and his dad were up with him on the apron, man, in the ring.
Hey, hold on. You're already getting a lot of comments.
I shouldn't have said the sister.
Already getting a lot of comments.
Yes,
I hear Alex. Hold on, Alex. Bro. Alex, right there, saying,
"That's some dogs."
Figueroa's sister is the real deal. That's what Alex Figueroa says, huh?
Oh man,
Well,
continue, Marcus, continue.
Yeah, man. I mean, aside from her being a really pretty young lady, man, you can tell the one thing that I was impressed with her. To be honest, bro, she stuck out in her own way, and it wasn't because she was a good-looking lady. It was because, bro, she seems legit, and she's a
nutritionist, right?
She's a nutritionist, and she kind of showed like, hey. I have a role, and you could tell when she was watching the sparring, bro, she's looking for what's going on. Like I could tell, it looked like she was making up what he was going to eat there afterward, man. They're really organized. The way that they handle things, bro, post sparring, everything, bro, was top class, man. He's got a real good team around him with his family, man, who loves you more than your biological family, dog. It's beautiful to watch. I was really impressed.
God dang, some of you guys say some stupid stuff here on these comments, man.
Yeah, that was a dumb comment, man.
Yeah, man.
I saw that it said El Salvador or something.
Hey, good job last week, Yair, bro. Killed it, homie.
Yeah, bro, we were on it.
What was it like talking to Carl Froch?
He's very he bleeds you a lot of information. Like he feeds you a lot, very, very detailed. It takes a lot for him to really like give you the final answer because he just like goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
But you can tell that his intelligence or ring IQ is very high. It's just that for him to finally let go of the answer or be like, what do you think? But he extends a lot. Like he extends the entire answering, which is good because sometimes you're pulling teeth with some fighters or some analysts. What do you think of the fight? What did you outtake? When I asked him, Billy Joe Saunders being a southpaw, and Canelo hasn't fought a southpaw since 2014, 2015. Can that be a slight disadvantage? He went on and on and on about it to finally said, no, it probably won't be a huge disadvantage. But like he's very he's good. He's good.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Gilbert was saying, the 80,000 at Wembley.
Yeah, but he's good though. He's good.
No, he did. He did. You know, man. Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm looking forward. Those of you guys that are out there, man. I'm gonna be covering the fight out in Carson, Neri and Figueroa. So stop by, bro. Say what's up. You see us, man. Say hi, bro. I'm gonna be doing fan reactions afterward. We're gonna do a couple fan reactions to the folks that really know what's going on. So this is your chance to get yourself on Fight Hub. It'd be dope.
No, there we go, man. That fight's happening this weekend on the Showtime. I think it's really going to be a great fight to go ahead and watch. So make sure to go ahead and tune into that. Man, Canelo, dude, it's his era. It's his time right now. No one else is doing what he's doing. And I think the lasting impression that I had from that fight was like, dude, Canelo's a freaking badass, bro. That guy's a freaking badass because got this little guy just kicking the crap out of everybody because he's not a big guy. He's not a big guy for that weight, you know?
Yeah.
And the stuff that he's doing, like, dude's a freaking badass. And like people, I'm starting to see the change little by little, okay? Canelo's still getting a lot of criticism and you know, rightfully so, I think, on some instances. You know, he should be fighting David. That is a tremendous fight. You know, hopefully that fight does happen. But I am starting to see people give Canelo more respect, more props, and I think it's merited because what he is doing is more than anybody else in boxing. To be honest, you know, what other guy fights when he goes? If he goes into this Caleb Plant fight in September, that'll be the fourth fight in 9 months. Fighters only fight twice a year. Like this guy, 4 fights in 9 months. Like people, you know, elite fighters don't do that ever.
But Marcos, when I was talking to Oscar Valdez, remember when we were chatting with him, he said back in the day you would see that. Like you would see a lot back in the day, like in the 80s, 70s, around those times, you would see the fighters fighting like 6-7 times a year, even though it could be cab drivers, but still like
you know, to stay active. And you could say, you know, Canelo had a gimme fight with Yildirim, you know, that Callum Smith fight, we didn't think it would be a gimme fight, but it ended up being a gimme fight for him.
I mean, he said, you know, that's what top fighters do, just trying to stay active and so
don't worry. This is the bust up tour from Canelo right now. He's busted up Billy Joe Saunders, and he getting ready to bust up Caleb Plant too, bro. Like, don't think that I'm telling you, like I did last week. He took those easier touches, and he is primed and ready to blast off, man. The only guy there's only a couple people, like you touched on earlier, Marcos, that are going to be a difficult fight for Canelo. You got to give Canelo his credit. You got to give him credit for being active. But, you know, man, look out. Anybody that's facing Canelo right now, minus David Benavidez and maybe a Charlo brother, you're getting ready to get beat up, bro.
All right, you guys. I'm all pooped out from yelling at people over the Billy Joe Saunders thing, man. I hope he recovers, and I hope he makes a full recovery, and that I wish any fighter never gets seriously hurt from a fight. You know, I don't agree with the way he goes about certain things, Saunders. I think it's out of line a lot of the times when he's doing the stuff that he does, and criticism over that is merited when he does those things. But in terms of what happened to him over the weekend, I hope he recovers. I hope he's okay. And if he does make the decision to not fight, or he can't continue because of the eye injury, he has nothing to be ashamed about. And he knows this too, you know. He's a very confident guy in himself. He's accomplished a lot. 2-weight world champion. He went in there and fought an all-time great in Canelo in front of 73,000 freaking people, and he won rounds. And he was competitive with Canelo. Nothing to be ashamed of about that. He's already done more than 99% of the people on this earth.
Yep.
But you guys need to relax and say he's a quitter. Y'all tripping. You're just tripping. straight out tripping. But with that, I digress. Any parting thoughts, guys?
He went in there and he did this thing. That's just simple as that. Like, he put in a performance as best as he could. Could have been a little bit more longer if he wouldn't have that eye injury, but he actually went there to fight. He did a little bit more than what obviously the last two fighters that's something you can't take away from him. Yeah, the eye. But remember, Marcos, as soon as that happened, I told you, Marcos, he's hurt. Marcos, he's hurt. And you're like, nah. I was like, yeah, look, his eye, he's done, bro. He's not gonna come out the corner. But it's easy to just criticize that simple narrative of that, he quit. I don't think he quit. It takes a lot of guts. Something's broken in your eye, but he went in there. He touched up Canelo. That has something I haven't seen before. Not a lot, but he got in the inside. He still made it a little bit uncomfortable, even though Canelo had his game plan. But hats off to him, man. Hats off to Saunders' team. Even though they were crazy in the hotel, they were pretty active. They're wild, but they were good people, man. Good people.
You're finding you can measure a fighter's greatness by the complaints that are logged against him, or the successes that other people are taking credit for. People are happy that this dude landed punches against Canelo in a boxing match. He got beat up. The bottom line is Canelo is the best that there is right now until proven otherwise, man. And we're happy we witnesses, bro. Just calm down on the complaints, man, and just enjoy what you're watching, bro. Just live in the now. We're watching greatness. Keep paying attention.
You're right, bro. He's an all-time. We're watching an all-time great doing some special things, because there's no other guy that's doing what he's doing right now that's active, or especially in this year. This year for sure. If he's already fighter of the year, but if he becomes undisputed, he's gonna be a shoo-in. Becomes undisputed, that's he nailed his ticket to the Hall of Fame. Even though you can make an argument that he already had a Hall of Fame career, if he becomes undisputed, that's it. That that's his one-way ticket in right away. But we really are seeing a guy that is special in Saul Canelo Alvarez. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Really appreciate for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much once again to David Benavidez for joining us here live as well. One final happy birthday over to our man Yair. Everybody wish Yair
my guy
happy
Yair.
birthday.
Happy birthday, doggy. Happy birthday, broski.
Appreciate it, team. Appreciate
One more round of likes. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're getting really close to hit that 1 million mark, man. We're super close. So please share this and continue sharing as well. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your Monday, guys. Appreciate it. Make this week a good one and a productive one. And look out